In the last couple of years, Texas has become a major hub for data centers, new ones going up all across the state at an unprecedented rate.
This data center boom has made its way to Central Texas with a new data center currently being built in Temple. News 10's Isabella Quintanilla joins us now in studio with the details. Isabella?
Yes, that's right, Lauren and Gordon. Back in September, the city of Temple approved plans for a $700 million data center along Bob White Road. This announcement, of course, raised a lot of questions and concerns. The company behind this data center working with the community to address those.
Rowan is not just a sustainable data center developer, right? We want to be active members of the community.
For the last several months, Nathaniel Brown with Rowan Digital Infrastructure says construction has been underway, officially breaking ground last month.
We anticipate construction to last 12 to 18 months, so that project will come online towards the end of 2027.
But like with any data center announcement, this has raised some concern among the local community. Back in March, they hosted an open house where they addressed these concerns.
We were able to connect with them and answer questions on, everything you'd expect, right? Water use, energy costs, whether the facilities are going to be loud, what construction timeline looks like, and what we're doing to make sure that the impact is minimal.
Working directly with those who could be impacted by this, such as the Robinson family farm.
It's basically behind that tree line right there.
Helen Robinson says when they first heard about this data center, their biggest concern was how much the construction would impact their business.
Even though they're not directly right beside us, definitely the traffic has made an impact on the area.
However, she says Rowan has done a great job of trying to minimize any impact.
A lot of the concerns have been addressed. They are either not running on days that we're open or they're, done by 9:30.
To show their commitment to the local community, Rowan has announced partnerships with several local businesses, including the Robinson family farm.
It is a multi-year partnership. It's designed to provide significant relief to the farm's annual operational costs. The farm is able to, utilize these resources to make improvements, to upgrade the visitor experience, to expand.
Just recently signing a 16-year agreement, something Brian Robinson says they're excited about.
All I've ever wanted to do is provide, a fun environment and a place where the community can come. This partnership with them solidifies me being able to do that for years, generations to come, honestly.
This Thursday, the Texas House of Representatives State Affairs Committee is holding a public hearing to look further into the development of data centers in Texas. If you'd like to learn more, Rowan says they've been posting regular updates on their Facebook page and their website, both of which will be linked under this story on our website. Reporting in studio, Isabella Quintanilla, KWTX News 10.